Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Disney Countdown Show. My name is Megan, also known as the Magical Millennial on the socials, and with me today is my wonderful, beautiful co-host, the dapper Danielle. Danielle, how are you doing today?
Girl, I'm gonna be all kinds of honest. I am not awake at all. I don't know. Well, to be fair, so right now, something that's not even Disney related. It's not like I went and did like a opening to close over at Epcot and I was walking like crazy miles or anything like that.
Right.
No. Instead, I was repainting furniture. So I have this whole set of furniture that I was gifted from my grandma. And I know some of y'all are probably like the ones that are here listening. You're like, oh no, don't be touching vintage furniture and whatnot. I'm like, no. This furniture has been stored in the mountains of Appalachia in a non-humidity controlled environment, and so we're having to like sand it down, and I'm having to like put kills on it to be able to kill any mildew or whatever in it, and then now I'm repainting it. It's gorgeous now, but yeah. I have not. I'm so sore from just doing like that sanding motion. So like my shoulders are really stiff, and my back is, because those aren't muscles I typically use.
Exactly.
And so I'm very sore right now, but you know what? I'm here. I'm hanging out with you. It's going to be a good day. I still need more caffeine, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. We'll get through it with our sore muscles and our our sandy, like crusty hands.
Oh my!
It's going to be fine.
The paint and whatnot. I am not a clean painter. Also, when I do these craft projects or these out of the blue projects, so I have paint all over my hands, so I'm having to like scrub off this weird enamel paint later on and whatnot. And of course I'm not using gloves. I'm not using what I'm supposed to be using. Yeah, now we just get right into the nitty gritty.
Get right in there.
I will let y'all know I was wearing a mask properly when we were like sanding and stuff, so I don't have any of that debris getting into my lungs or anything like that. But
good.
No, I was very messy with the paint, so now my hands, like, I feel like I need lotion, and like, they just feel gross.
All of that stuff just making your hands nice and dry and crusty and crackly. It's great. It's great.
See, this is the kind of content that I don't share on the Instagram or the TikTok or whatnot. I just share this personally to the Patreon, or to not even the Patreon family, just to the podcast family.
Just to all the listeners.
Yes, thank you, Disney Countdown Show listeners. If you're listening, thank you so much for being here today. And we are the Disney Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and then Pod Disney over on Twitter, X. And then we also, this episode and whatnot, we have a couple episodes that'll be posted on YouTube. However, those don't go live until Friday. But yes, so thank y'all for listening. And again, I am the Dapper Danielle on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And then Megan is the Magical Millennial _, on her socials also. And then, girl, so what's been going on with you? I think I messaged you earlier this week also, saying how, like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe Mercury was in the microwave again. But
I think so.
I didn't feel the inspiration these past couple days to like make content, and I think some of my followers noticed it because I just didn't post for like 3 days. Well, until the bear incident, but we'll talk about that in the news portion a little bit later. Yeah. And you kind of felt the same way too, right? I don't know what was going on.
Oh my gosh, I was definitely an emotional millennial last week. I feel like it was a Friday. I had a lot to look forward to in the weekend. We went to Halloween Horror Nights on Saturday, me and my boyfriend, and it was a good time. But Friday, for some reason, I let the trolls get to me a little bit. The internet was not being super kind, and it just got to me. It doesn't usually, honestly. I'm able to block it out. I'm able to just ignore it all, and that's that. I focus on the positive. But for some reason, I don't know. It was getting to my head a little bit, getting into the feels, and I just had an off night. It was a little bit what I call like a paralyzing of feelings. It's kind of like I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of shared it and got it out. And it was, I mean, the amount of love and support I received just from posting that. And I honestly, I don't mean it to be like I'm begging for attention or anything. I just need to talk, and there's not really anyone around me to talk about it with, so it's nice to just get it out there. But everyone was incredibly supportive and really, really nice in responding. And so I think it was really helpful seeing all that positivity in a little bit of a down day, you know what I mean? So that was really nice. But anyways, it did turn around over the weekend. I'm happy to say we went to Horror Nights, super fun. And then on Sunday I went to an Angel game, which I haven't been to a baseball game in a few years. So that was really cool. I love baseball. And yeah, got some work done. So you know what? It all turned around. I definitely think Mercury was in the microwave for a day or two for me. I know that I know it's like an extended period of time that it's there, but it definitely felt like that on Friday. But everything's fine now. We're all good. We got stuff to look forward to. So, but thank you for asking and checking in too. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, yes. I don't know. I feel like our followers and the people that listen and watch our content quite regularly, they can tell like if something is off. And so I appreciate too when everybody just messages being like, hey, how's it going? You still doing good? Like we'll get those DMs or we'll get those tags on our Instagram stories and whatnot. So thank you again to all y'all that are listening, or even a lot of you guys have been resharing what's been going on, even with the countdown show of where you've been listening at. Have you been at work? Maybe you're on the run. Maybe you're, well, if you're on the run, I mean, you better not be running from anybody of authority or anything like that, but that's not what I meant. I meant like if you're out for a run, not on the run.
Yes, yeah. just to clarify.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
But maybe you're at home, you're doing your laundry, and you're just hanging out and whatnot. So thank you for tuning in and just being here with us and listening. That is so cool. And you know, y'all,
thank you guys.
You guys have been also, don't forget for this, like, you guys can DM us. You can also DM us over on the Disney Countdown show, and we'll try to get to those messages and whatnot. But you also can like leave little reviews and stuff on certain podcast areas, and you can leave your comments and whatnot. And that's one way to also get a shout out here on the show. Or who was it? One of our followers in the last episode, I talked about how she was listening to us because she was pulling a Danielle and staying up until 4 a.m. Right?
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
So and then so she commented in her stories and tagged me, and she's like, wait, did I just get a shout out on the podcast? And I was like, well, yeah, you never know. We might just randomly bring it up in conversation. So yeah, definitely reach out, tag us in whatever, or even in our countdowns, especially as we talk about like characters, quotes. We're going to be talking about food here a little bit later. Maybe when you go and see one of these items in the park and you think, oh yeah, Megan or Danielle talked about this on the podcast, tag us in that Instagram story, in that post, so that way we can see it and maybe we can talk about it later too.
Yeah, absolutely. I love being tagged in stuff that, you know, people think that I might enjoy, and I love sharing it on my stories. So appreciate all the tags and and just for mentioning us. So thank you guys, and thank you so much for obviously rating and reviewing the show when you listen. Really appreciate that. That's obviously very helpful, and also, you know, helps us reach everyone that wants to share the Disney magic. So thank you. Yeah. And then on top of that, I am so excited because we have, oh my God, there's just so much going on over on the Disney Countdown Show Patreon. I cannot wait. We have new subscribers, or more people added to the Patreon family. So thank y'all for subscribing. We have Carly, Jocelyn, Steve, another Megan, Samantha, Kim, and Rachel. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for being part of the Patreon family. And I really want to talk about what we did last week, Danielle, because it was so much fun. Yes. And we also have little nifty gifties for our new Patreons too, that was made by the Dapper Danielle, and it's so beautiful, and it's just incredible. So
the little postcards that I kind of talked about how I made the little illustrations of our faces and whatnot, just in a specific art style inspired by the 40s and 50s. And so the first batch of those, and they are exclusive for the Patreon family, so sadly you do have to be part of the Patreon fam. They do the first wave of those have been sent out, so make sure you are checking your mailboxes, and maybe they just a little Disney Magic postcard is going to be showing up in the mail. So keep an eye out for those. Yes. It's
it looks so good. I'm always so impressed with artists and people who can draw and make amazing art. So I love that, Danielle. You're so talented. It looks so good. We also have something very, very fun coming up soon. We have exclusive content, a bonus episode, and lots of Disney chats and more things that we just talk about randomly. A full episode of deleted scenes will be dropping for our Patreon fam on Friday, September 29th. So you do have to be a Patreon to hear that episode.
It's gonna get weird.
It's going to get weird. We get, again, super unfiltered on some of the Patreon episodes. And this one is, like, again, very, because they are deleted scenes. So it's going to be funny. And hope y'all can get to hear that one.
I'm nervous about it because Chris is the one that's like putting all this together, and he's the one that's going to be splicing everything. So I am kind of nervous about that. It should be good. I forget what I say sometimes, especially if these are from a couple episodes ago. So Chris, for those that don't know, Chris is the guy behind the scenes that kind of edits us and puts us together and whatnot. He is also the master of ceremonies for the games as well. So Chris, are you there to say hi to everybody real quick?
I am here to say hi. I just want to say I'm sorry I missed you all last week. I didn't feel great. I don't sound great today. Get it going.
Good. We're glad to see you're alive.
He took us to a cough syrup.
I'm happy to be alive too, to be honest with you.
Well, you look great. So thanks for being here today.
Yes.
And then Danielle, we also did get to chat with everyone on a virtual hang last week as well on the Patreon, which was just so much fun. I really enjoyed that. That was great. We got to meet each other face to face and talk about our history with Disney and also how people started following us. That was really cool because that's just something you don't really know at least when I'm creating content and everything, I don't really know how people find me, I guess.
Or sometimes you don't have the opportunity to ask those questions, because these are some things that I wondered too, of like when people stop us in the park and whatnot, and we're just like, sometimes we're in the middle of a queue line and people are just like, oh my gosh, I love your content. Or maybe you're passing by real quickly and you can't stop and ask those questions of like, hi, where are you from? When did you start listening? When did you start liking my content? We can't like ask these questions like organically. So that was really cool to be in there, and like we could sit down. It felt like a safe space, and people could like talk and chat with us a little bit, and people asked some really great questions. Some people that were very experienced Disney goers, and some people that are just genuine fans of Disney, and they're listening to us to plan some of their first trips, or even maybe only their first trip to one coast and first trip to the other coast, and they're listening to us and trying to plan their day. That's awesome.
I know. That was really cool. We had a few people. I think there was someone who had only been to Disney World one time and was planning a trip, I think over Thanksgiving, was one of the conversations that we had, and how that could be a tough schedule for that trip, but it can still be a lot of fun. Obviously, it's over the holidays, so. And then I went on a full-on rant about Oogie Boogie Bash and how to make the most out of your time there. So that was cool too.
Which is good, because I have my really long rant on for the candy aspect of it that's like 7 minutes long over on TikTok. So like I get that.
That's right. I saw that.
So it was just your version of it for the Patreon family.
Yes, just an extended version. That's right. But yes, if you guys want to join in, we are going to be doing another one in the next few weeks. If you want to join in on the virtual hang, go ahead and click the Patreon link in the episode notes, or you can just search for Disney Countdown on patreon.com, and we would love to have you because it's so much fun.
Yeah, or just to hear let's talk about random Disney things in the middle of the podcast that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway. That those things get really random over there sometimes. So
yes, they do. But honestly, those are some of the best conversations, I think. It can be fun. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, but Danielle, I think we need to talk about this because something happened yesterday. This would be a week when this episode airs. It'll be a week from the day. Yes. There was some wildlife, some actual real wildlife, and not a bird and not bugs, but another mammal that made its way into Magic Kingdom. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
I can definitely talk about that. So on Monday, the 18th, in the very early morning hours, and this is, so y'all, I don't even know if really anybody's really shared this information on the news or anything like that. Some of this is going to be what I can share from the cast members that were there in the morning and whatnot. But in the very early morning hours, when some of the cast members were walking the area, because this is before park open, you have the coordinators coordinators and maybe one or two other cast members, you will walk out and do like a show check, right? So you're checking to make sure everything's up, make sure the barricades are up for like stanchions and whatnot, make sure the ropes are down, make sure everything's all clean and put away, that all backstage cars are backstage, all this other stuff. They are checking to make sure that, like, because they can drive cars on stage also, to make sure, like, see what's going on and like to do maintenance and power wash everything. So they had to make sure all those are backstage. Well, I believe it was our friends that actually work the train. In the very early morning hours, they were out there and they walked the train track to make sure there's no major debris so they can bring the train in and it's not going to get caught on anything. And the cast members that were walking the track saw this Florida black bear hanging out on the tracks and crossing on over. And I think the number one question I got in my content was people asking, like, how did it get there? Y'all... Florida black bears go wherever the heck they want to, okay? They, and the area behind Magic Kingdom, it does have, there is like a fence. There is a fence area, but there's also a natural canal, a little water runoff area and whatnot. It's swampland over there. So he just took his time and just went wading on through the swampland and got himself on the tracks and is hanging out over there.
Wow.
And
yeah.
So
That's
this
so crazy.
was happening shortly before park opened. So we assume like around 8 a.m., 8:30 is when the call was being made to saying like, hey, we got a bear over here. I don't have a radio code for this is basically what was happening. And where the bear went is kind of all over the place, but they had to close down from Frontierland all the way over to Haunted Mansion. So Pirates, anything in Frontierland, anything in Liberty Square and Adventureland was shut off.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Left side of the park closed, yeah.
And that side of the park did not reopen until almost 12:40 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow. Okay. I totally thought it was later. I thought that they like kept it at least till middle of the afternoon. So that's not terrible. Like,
it's not terrible, but still it was the middle of the day point where so many people were planning on rope dropping like that side of the park that it bogged down all of Fantasyland and Tomorrowland because that's half of the attractions are over in the section that was closed. Right?
Yeah.
So Pirates wasn't open, all that other good stuff. So people were so frustrated and there was no communication being made until like people thought it was a power outage and we're like, no, it's definitely not a power outage because that does not usually affect Magic Kingdom. If a power outage is going to affect a park, it's going to be Hollywood Studios. That's just how it happens. Don't know why. But so we knew it was something more intense. It could have been like a water main or a sewage break or something like that. And then to hear it was a bear makes it even funnier. But they had to close off such a large perimeter because the bear kept moving.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Someone said that it actually swam across the Little River America to Tom Sawyer's Island and was like up in a tree at one point. And then it came back down and then it was traveling around the train track area and it was caught eventually in the very back of the park side of the train tracks, almost close to where the cast members enter the utilidors.
Okay. Yeah.
Which would have been hilarious. I'm not saying it would have been good, but it would have been hilarious if the bear just wandered on into the utilidors, hanging out in the bottom of the Magic Kingdom. That would have been hilarious.
It would have been a shock, I think. Yeah, oh my gosh, if it managed to just go and hang out down there. Whew.
Yes.
That would have been a little scary. I know they're not like insanely aggressive, at least from what I've heard, but when you see a bear,
he's not hungry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think seeing a bear anywhere where it's not in some sort of enclosure would be really, really terrifying.
Right. Well, I think the other thing that they were having a hard time with is that they had to be able to catch it and then also identify the gender of it. And so it was a male, from what we understand. And if it was a female, though, they were under the assumption that there would be cubs somewhere. Yeah. So that's what they were most worried about, is that they had to catch it and they had to check and see, is it a female or a male? And then if it was a female, they would have to start looking in the area to see where the cubs were left, is what they were most worried about.
Okay. But once they figured out it was a male, it was like, we're fine. It's just this bear.
We're good.
Okay.
He's just going rogue. He's just wandering around by himself, seeing what trouble he can get into. He smelled churros, and he was after a churro.
I think he was. Yes.
It was. If you're a cast member and you're listening to this podcast right now, let me just say I appreciate y'all and how many bear memes I have been sent of like this crazy Photoshop job of this bear doing a ton of different things around Magic Kingdom, whether it be like eating a churro or like riding Haunted Mansion and whatnot. I have loved all of these memes and I have been just dying laughing. So it was hilarious. But I don't know if you saw my video, Megan, where I announced, I was like, I told you so. I said this was going to happen.
Yep. Oh, I saw that. Yep.
I didn't picture it was going to be a bear. I thought it was going to be like a Florida bobcat, honestly. I didn't think it was going to be like something so big. But yes, I guess leading up to it, there was a bear in around the homes that are behind Magic Kingdom.
Oh, so it was already hanging out in that area.
It was already hanging out in that area. And I think there was also one that was supposedly spotted, oh gosh, somewhere near the golf course area. So he was probably heading around the golf courses because the golf courses are actually a wildlife preserve in some areas. Okay. So that's usually where the Florida bobcats hang out. We do have bobcats here on Walt Disney World property. We just leave them alone as long as they don't get close to guests and whatnot. Yeah. We leave them be. We have coyotes. We have all these different things too. And I think the number one question was people didn't realize that we had bears here in Florida.
I didn't know. I had no idea. Not a clue.
We got bears. We got many fuzzy boys that will attack and bite your face off.
I mean, Florida has nearly everything else under the sun, so why would you not have bears?
Exactly. We got bears. We got Florida panthers. Gators. Well, they're farther south. We got gators. We even have crocodiles in South Florida.
Oh my God! There's both of them. Both of
we
the
got
things.
Both. We got the rounded nose boys and the pointy nose boys.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yes, but those are closer to like Miami and South Florida.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. So if you just travel up and down Florida, you're bound to see both. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, you're bound to see both. And we have a mixture of natives and we also have a mixture of invasive species. So fun times.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yes, I can go into a whole
the bugs and the snakes.
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on the bugs. I taught somebody about the gator tick here recently, and she about lost her mind.
Yeah. The only time I ever saw a gator in Florida, I had been talking to someone being like, I've never seen a gator live in Florida. I've been to Florida many times. I've never seen one. And then I was going back into the Orlando terminal on the little tram thing that takes you across. And there was one just floating down that waterway that you go right over.
Yes.
I saw him just like floating right down. Oh, there's one.
There's a couple that live in the Orlando International Airport catchment ponds over there. There's a couple. So, yeah. That's so funny. And for those that are listening, if you want a random gator fact in the middle of the night that you probably don't care, or in the middle of the podcast, if it's nighttime and you're looking at a body of water, you just take a flashlight and you shine it over the top of the water. And if you see two dots glowing red, those are gators looking at you. So gators' eyes glow red when you flash a light in their eyes. And they're just like two little red dots just peering above the water. It's so creepy.
As if they couldn't be more terrifying.
Oh, exactly.
That's something that happens.
So yes, awesome. The bear's been taken care of. He wasn't killed or anything like that. He was just little dart to the butt and took a nap, and then he's been transported away to somewhere else where he can hang out.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad he is okay, and I'm glad everyone else is okay. Well done to the cast members and probably Animal Rescue for taking care of that situation. Yes. So
and shout out to our guest relations and ticketing cast that had to deal with that also that day and tried to
I was gonna say
explain.
Yeah, without like anybody like panicking. I know that they had to wait probably to get any sort of information out or just explain that we have a bear in the park.
Right, and that was the other thing too.
They,
is that
say
even
it right
when
away?
People found out that it was a bear, and the cast members are just like, that you would have a guest. I can only imagine these conversations, but you have a guest come over and just be like, well, I want to head towards Big Thunder Mountain. Well, sir, there was a bear spotted over in that area. Well, can't you just like keep him behind the ropes? Sir, this is a wild animal. It's not an animatronic. And like, I can only imagine those conversations that happened the other day in the park. That would be hilarious. And I'm so sorry to our guest relations and our ticketing cast and anybody that was dealing with those situations. I heard they were so shorthanded on GR cast that they pulled guest relations cast members from Epcot to come and assist with the line over in Magic Kingdom because people were like demanding refunds on their tickets or like whatever. They opened up park hopping earlier and whatnot too. It was a hot mess, but they survived. Again, there's no training in the Disney operational guide of what to do when a bear closes down half of the park.
Yeah, because I can't remember if there's ever been a time where that's happened. I don't think it's happened in land or ever. Or
2010, we had a bear situation over at Fort Wilderness Campground, but that was kind of it. It never got to the part where it's like in the park. In the park,
yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, yeah. Thank you to everyone again for handling that situation as best as possible. And I think, honestly, a couple hours is not that bad for it to just be handled. So I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, besides a bear over here at Disney World, do you got anything else going on over there, Megan? Because I know you've been going to the park also a lot here recently. Anything exciting going on?
Yeah, we've got quite a few things. We have a whole new store opening. We'll talk about that more in our news segment. And we also have on Rivers of America, we have kind of a bit of a little replacement show for Fantasmic. We have, with the opening of Tiana's Palace, which just happened a few weeks ago, and we're obviously so excited about that, we have Queenie and the Jambalaya Jazz Band, and they are playing their amazing jazz music on a lovely float that goes across the Rivers of America, similar to like what the princesses did during Fantasmic. And I've seen them quite a few times. They only play on weekends, but I've seen them a few times, and they are absolutely amazing. The colors are just beautiful on this float. And in between their set, starting September 29th, we are going to have a limited time experience, which is paying tribute to the spirit of New Orleans. And it's going to be, I believe it's going to be on the stage, and they're going to have colorful projections and a jazz score all over the Rivers of America. So that'll be really cool. It's going to tell the tale of a mischievous little frog from the bayou that leaps into the lively city of New Orleans when he is lured by the jazzy sounds he hears in the distance. So it's going to be a little bit of a Princess and the Frog feel, I feel like.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of jazz going on in New Orleans Square over there.
So I feel like what they're doing is that because half of the Fantasmic over there is the water projections and whatnot.
Yes.
That is not what was damaged at all during the Murphy barbecued lizard incident. So I feel like that they're like, okay, we have these giant projector screens. We might as well go ahead and use them. And so I assume that the band will probably be floating around on down the river, playing their sets, and then in between they're gonna pop up and do this little animation segment and music segment, which is pretty cool. I think that's a smart use of it. I mean, if it's just sitting there, might as well use it.
Yeah, I mean, the only use it was getting before that, and it's still getting used now, is for our fireworks shows with Halloween Screams. They do project those on the Rivers of America, and they probably will do that for the holidays as well, so they get a little bit of use, but again, it's only at night, one time. So it's kind of nice to have it go a little bit in between and have more of a show specifically on the Rivers of America. I'm excited for it.
That's good.
I mean, pretty cute.
Yeah. Again, what we said in the last episode, we'll take what we can get at this point.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I say we go ahead and jump into some Disney news and talk about a couple other things that are happening around the Disney World and the Disneyland.
That was great.
So, one of the first things is, okay, so we have here in Walt Disney World, there is the Swan and Dolphin Resort. I don't know if Megan, if you've ever, they're the really big ones over there behind Epcot.
I've stayed at both. Mm-hmm.
You have stayed at both.
I love them.
Okay,
I have,
yes. Well, they are doing their own little thing. They do this, I believe this is not something new. This is something that they do like every year, and it only lasts for about 2 days. And it is their version of Food and Wine Classic Menu. So they have like a little kind of setup and whatnot that happens over there. It happens on November 10th and November 11th of this year. And yes, it's called the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, which is very fitting because it is happening at the very end of the Food and Wine Festival here at Walt Disney World before we segue into holidays. But the festival will showcase over 20 items of festival exclusive pop-ups and resident restaurants, which are inside these hotels and whatnot. And it's going to feature a little bit of everything from Mexican, Italian, sushi, steak, seafood, barbecue, all the above. And however, this is a separate little ticketed event. I have not looked to see how much the tickets are. Let me see if I can pull that up and get some info. But a lot of this is available over on their website. Yes,
because they are not technically Walt Disney World or Disney hotels.
Right.
They are, yes, they're like a sister kind of thing.
Yeah, which, fun fact, I actually have a whole history video that I've recorded and I have yet to put up on YouTube because I'm such a bad, YouTube person. But Swan and Dolphin Resort has a very unique history to the building of Epcot and, the very first convention hotels on Disney World property. But with all that said, this is actually, so this is actually a little bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. The event is open to the general public, so regardless of where you're staying, you can still purchase a casual a Causeway event ticket, and it's $185 per person.
Sheesh. Okay.
That's kind of what I thought, but it is for 2 days.
Saver Pass, for sure.
Well, and that's I guess that's kind of what I feel like it is including. So that includes, I think, everything, and they do have. I don't think that, it almost makes it seem like the cocktails, beer, and wine tastings, those are all, included with this price also. And it does look like there is, a VIP champagne and dessert party. It is $185 per person. And now this, I believe this ticket is all inclusive. So it's including November 10th and 11th. So it's both days, right? Yeah. And then it makes it seem like it includes also some of the seminars. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm double checking. Oh, no, it does not. Some of the seminars are actually completely separate. I'm glad I double checked that. Some of them vary in price point and whatnot. If you want the VIP champagne and dessert party or all this other stuff, but they are going all out for food. And if you're interested in any of this, it does have its own separate website if you want to look into it. Maybe you're staying over at that resort or you're over on that side of property. It is Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic.com. And you can see pictures of it. They are going to be taking over the entire outside of these resorts and up and down the causeway. So it'll be very interesting. We'll see what actually happens.
The food looks really, really good. I'm reading through the menus right now, and it does look very, glamorous and it's top-notch food. So, I mean, if I had that much, then I would try and join it.
If you are the ultimate foodie and you are just looking for something different that's not Epcot's Food and Wine Festival, I'd be sure, go for it. You live that best life.
Right? Absolutely. Yes. 100%. I support.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And then speaking of food, I just saw, Danielle, we got the Halloween food list for Walt Disney World. Finally. You have one too.
Well, and I feel like a couple episodes ago, we did talk about some Disney World foods. And I think half of our list was actually outdated from last year's because there's a lot of things on this list that are pretty brand new that I'm honestly shocked by. And let's see, I'm looking through some of these right now, and this is breaking it down by resort. So again, a lot of these things, when in the other episode we were talking about the Halloween foods for Disney World, a lot of our food does not arrive to the resorts or to the other parks besides Magic Kingdom until October 1st.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of these foods are going to be very, very exclusive in each of the resorts. I love that. Okay, side note. again, a lot of the resorts for the longest time were not able to like do their own exclusive food items, or didn't have the flexibility financially from head chefs and Disney corporate to be able to like create certain things. And it seems like this year they're finally like, okay, no, there is a demand for it. Head chefs, create what you want to create. And like there is oh gosh, what is this one? This one's so funny. At the Beach Club Resort, there is a Captain Hook cookie. It looks like in the picture, in the weirdest way, it looks like a red taco with like,
yes,
with like whipped cream, which is supposed to be his little ruffles on his sleeves.
Yes.
And then they gave it a pointy Captain Hook mustache out of chocolate. And it is so funny. Let me see. It's
hilarious.
Oh gosh, it is vanilla with strawberry jam, peanut butter ganache, buttercream, and chocolate decor is the Captain Hook cookie. I'm adding this to my list. I need to try it just because it's so funny looking.
It looks like a Choco Taco, but it's red and it's got some whipped cream on top, and it's got a little hook on the side, which is hilarious. I think it's so cute. I honestly, I feel like, so we have the treats that last obviously from September to October, and there's quite a lot of them in the parks. Right. You guys have these intricate, like very, very detailed treats that come up just for a month, and they are mostly at the resorts instead of the parks. But they're so cute. Like I'm looking at this, like these eclair. You've got a Mike Wazowski little cake pop, poison apple things. There's a whole Stitch cake. This one from Disney's Riviera is a chocolate cherry coffin. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Wilderness Lodge, the Haunted Forest apple mousse, which literally looks like it's wood, going in a circle with a little poison apple on top. It's so cute. It's got cookies and cream mousse and sour apple mousse. Oh my gosh, everything looks
good too,
like delectable. So that's pretty cool. I know Hollywood Studios does get in the spirit too. I think that's the park that has the most amount of treats. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hollywood Studios does have a lot of good treats, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And now again, all these treats do not start until October 1st, and they will be going away on October 31st. So bear that in mind if you're thinking that you're going to be able to show up on November 1st and be able to get these things. No, they gone. They already gone at that point. So make sure you are planning accordingly if you want to get any of these things. And I'm looking for one other. Okay, there's one other treat on here that I'll talk about. You actually mentioned it. That Mike Wazowski cake pop, y'all. We're not talking a Starbucks cake pop, okay? This is a big hunk of little round cake. Okay? It is a lot. And it's going to be a confetti cake. And it's going to be covered in green chocolate. So I'm going to add that to my list also. And probably the not so poison apple chocolate cauldron filled with apple spice cake and apple filling and caramel buttercream topped with an apple mousse. That
also
sounds like
looks
a lot.
amazing. It's the shiny red apple on top of a cauldron that's like leaking over. Like this stuff is so crazy. We would never. Grand Californian maybe, but not in the parks.
So interesting. And see, again, okay, so now we're going to be doing a flip of the switch, and I'm going to have to go do some food reviews instead of Megan this time. I'll be having to go and do some of these. So I'll keep y'all posted once we get closer to October 1st.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. It's like, yay, you get to the culinary creations are coming for the spooky season and hopefully a little bit for the holidays too. I just want to say this Scar cupcake, which is going to be at Pizza Safari in Animal Kingdom, looks amazing. It might not taste amazing. It's a red velvet cupcake. I mean, how can you go wrong? But it's got Scar on it, and I think that's so cool. He's one of my favorite villains.
You know, and that's the other thing too, is that we do a really good job of making stuff look really pretty, but does it taste good? And hopefully I will let y'all know here very soon once we get all those goodies in, and I'll be making my list of all the treats I need to go try, and I'll be giving y'all my food reviews. So we'll see.
That's the main question for Florida treats. Yes, agreed. Yes. Does it taste good?
Does it taste good?
Now I will say that Mr. Toad little tart looked good, but boy, did that receive and not to bad reviews.
a lot of the 50th food was not good. So that's
I know.
Again, we believe it when we see it, and we will go try it and actually see if it's good or not. So I'll let y'all know.
We'll see.
Now, Megan, we finally have some info on Story Living, which
yes, Cotino
is coming over to y'all's coast.
Which is it's super, super exciting. I have been by the plot of land that they have purchased and they're going to build on, and it's ginormous over in Rancho Mirage. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's pretty big. They have, so the initial plans for the first quote-unquote chapter, because again, this is Story Living by Disney Community, so it's going to be a lot about storytelling, and it includes more than
those
that
don't know, this is actual, like, houses being built by Disney.
Exactly. This is a community. This is people living there in Rancho Mirage, correct? Yes, and it's going to have more than 300 homes and a collection of community parks set in the Coachella Valley. My boyfriend currently lives there, so I'm out there quite a bit these days. And the mock-ups, the drawings and everything, the initial plans look really cool. It's going to have we got turquoise waters. So there's a promenade, views of Cotino Bay, which will feature the clearest turquoise water from Crystal Lagoons technology. We have, obviously the homes are going to be beautiful, as we've seen from neighborhoods over there. Disney's pretty good at building homes. And there's just, there's places there's going to be a dog park. There's so many things that you would want in a community that Disney will be building here.
Something I find so interesting about this, so they are hiring on the Disney Careers website, or they were, I don't know if they're still available, but they were hiring for like the retail, what's the word I'm looking for? The people that sell the houses and do like some of the marketing, managing and stuff like that.
Not realtors.
Realtors, not retail, realtors. Thank you. As I was having a blonde moment there for a second.
I got you.
But the not really realtors, but they were hiring for some of those roles because they are getting ready for some of the marketing and some of the financial stuff that's going to be happening for this. And as I'm looking here at the Story by Disney Living website, it does say, so the Disney touch is at the heart of it all. These communities are envisioned as enriching and conceived in a simple notion to bring people together. And it is managed by Disney cast members. So it's not like Disney's building something and then saying, peace out, Girl Scout.
Here you go.
Disney is actually going to be managing it, and it's going to be operated and run by Disney cast members.
So they will have their little cast member name tags. Yes?
Yes. They're going to have their own specially... It looks very similar to the cast member name tags. I'm seeing a picture of one of them right now. It looks like a cast member name tag. It's just the coloration's a little bit different to say it is part of Story Living. But I assume if you're going to be over here and you want to be a Disney cast member and you want to get those Disney cast member benefits, maybe as this location starts opening, maybe start looking into what kind of opportunities are going to become available.
Yeah, fully agree. It's going to be really interesting to have a huge Disney presence in another place in Southern California. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I know that they also do have, since the Coachella Valley and since I guess the Palm Springs and Palm Desert areas are known for being a fairly big retirement community, they are also going to have an area dedicated to adults 55 and over known as the Long Table Park Residences. So there will be kind of that retirement area feel. And because this was what drew Walt to the Coachella Valley in the first place. And it's going to be like a nice little place to relax. And it just, I don't know, it looks cool. And it's exciting.
The website also says something about like they're looking for other communities across the United States also. So I think this is kind of, I could see Disney starting this as like the test, and then seeing where else they can start like having little pockets in and whatnot. So I think that'll be kind of interesting.
It will be. And I can see that this is, so it's a new story being written here. And I can see this being the first quote unquote, again, chapter, and then multiple chapters coming after that in different cities throughout the country.
Oh yeah.
So that could be in the plans also.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Okay, Disney. Building more homes. We see you. And then another thing over here, just real quick, we do have some news from California Adventure, and I was able to go to the opening yesterday of the Avengers Vault in Avengers Campus. This is a brand new store, yes, that now has a place in the building, the big Quinjet building right on campus. So all the merch will no longer be in what was the Superstore over on Hollywood Boulevard. This is now a store in the actual campus itself in that building. So you can actually go inside now rather than it just kind of standing there and being a little prop for shows and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe we'll get an attraction. That's apparently part of the plans now, according to Destination D23.
I mean, again, we'll believe it when we see it.
We will. That's right. And we don't even know where it's going to go. It's just we know it's coming somewhere. I went into it yesterday. It's a lot smaller, obviously, than the Superstore because that was technically a soundstage. So this is definitely more of a gift shop feel. They do have a lot of the regular merch that was in the Superstore from all your favorite Avengers. And they also have included the gauntlets that I don't know if they were sold over in World. That's what I heard through the grapevine. But they do have the Iron Man, the Thanos gauntlet, and then as well as all of the Infinity Stones and Loki's staff. That's being sold. It's like on display over in one corner. And then they have all the helmets from like Black Panther, Iron Man. They have a Spider-Man helmet, and they have Tony's little, I call it a chess piece, but that's not what it is. It's his arc reactor also being sold that says proof that Tony Stark has a heart. So lots of cool things that have been placed there. It looks really good. It's kind of nice that, again, there is an actual store with a nice little like moniker that's up and says Avengers Vaults. Yeah, so that's now open at DCA if you want to go take a look. It's there's not too much that's brand new, but there's some cool stuff in there.
Hey,
so, yeah, that's the news from DCA.
We complained that it only had one gift shop for the entire land, right? So it's
yes,
good that it has something else now.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We have an actual shop within the campus. Exactly. You had to walk all the way over back to Monsters Inc. to go and see the actual merch, which didn't make any sense. So that you're absolutely right. The fact that everything's now together in the campus is a lot more, consistent. Makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So good job, Disney.
Well, speaking of shopping and doing other stuff, I know we've just literally just talking about Halloween, and we were talking about Halloween snacks. For those that do not love Halloween as much as some of us, y'all, Christmas is officially here, because the holiday section actually, so shopdisney.com, right? They start bringing up it's called they call it the holiday shop, I think is what they call it on shopdisney.com, and on the homestead section, so you can actually click it and it has a little section. They've started dropping this year's some key items from this year's holiday collection, and we can kind of see what the theme is going to be. If you open this up all the way, so some of the the family pajama sets are now live. They have this year's Stockings. Christmas train, which I know a lot of people do collect. That is already up and is available for pre-order, actually, because they know it's so popular.
Yep.
One of the Christmas countdown little pieces are up, and I'm actually if you look at the theming of this year, it's giving very 60s and 50s animation style Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And it actually contains a lot of pastel pinks and blues too, along with the classic greens and reds. And I'm obsessed because all of my Christmas decor is the pastels. I have a pastel 60s vintage retro Christmas, and I'm so excited.
Oh, Danielle's in trouble. She's going to need the whole collection. She's in trouble.
I've already started my shopping. I've already added one thing to my my cart right now, and it's this giant throw blanket that's way too expensive that I would never buy, but I love. It has Genie on it. It has Simba on it. Chip and Dale, Cheshire Cat, Dumbo, Tinkerbell, and you wouldn't expect these together, but when you look at it, I'm I kind of love it in a weird way. So I don't know. More to come. But this is just to say that, yes, the holidays are officially sneaking up on us. As soon as October 1st starts, y'all, we've already said that Halloween is here. right? No. So October 1st, happy Hollow Thanksmas, y'all. We are in full sprinting mode through the holiday season. Let's go.
We gotta get just on top of our holiday merch this year, like way ahead in advance. Well, and I get it.
Kind of on brand of when they start dropping like these key items, like the pajamas and like some of the countdown stuff, right? They usually do that.
Absolutely.
But
That's
come
true.
October 15th, I believe some of the stores will start dropping the full Christmas collection.
Okay. October
So
15th.
we're like, that's what's happened in previous years. I could be totally wrong, but just be aware that in the middle of October, stuff could slowly be creeping in, and you'll start hearing Mariah Carey slowly emerging from the depths of like, all I want for Christmas is you. You're gonna start hearing that off in the distance. It's gonna be very intense.
Off in the distance, like she's creeping up on us. It's like echoing, and then she slowly gets closer and closer.
Have you seen those TikToks
bells
at all? Like the
oh yeah,
of like keep her back, like people taking like war movies and whatnot and putting like this creepy audio of Mariah Carey over top of it and whatnot. Just be like, hold her back and whatnot. It's so funny. That's what I picture is happening as the Disney Christmas merch slowly emerges into the stores and whatnot. That's what I picture.
Oh, exactly. When there's still also Halloween merch at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep,
Yes.
indeed. I gotta say though, the pajama sets, which I'm always obsessed with every single year, they are green this year, and that's my favorite color. So I probably will be getting at least the pants. Those are my favorite. I get it every single year. Yep.
Oh, I love that.
Good times. Can't stay away. All right.
Well, I think it is time to move on to a game. Chris, are you still there?
So
He is dead. Oh no, he died.
no, he's here. He's
I'm here. All right, it's time again to test your Disney knowledge with a brand new game that we're calling With a Little Help from My Friends. And I didn't do the audio drop there, which I feel like is a disappointment for people, so maybe I'll do it in post-production and put it here. The problem is I just don't know if like the Beatles are going to come after me or something. I don't want them to like pull the episode down because I used like a fraction of a second from the song.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way that what makes this game special is that you're going to be giving each other clues to get to the right answers, so you'll be working together. Here's how it works. I separately shared with you both some well-known Disney-related stuff, broken down into categories. I'll ask you 3 questions about those things, and your answer will serve as the clues to help the other person guess the things that I've given you. Keep in mind, though, the answers do not need to be correct, as long as the answers help the other person get onto the subject of which we're talking about. And just to keep it from being too easy, your answers cannot be anything Disney related. So if it was like, if you had Frozen, you couldn't say that you have a ride based on you in Norway at the Norway Pavilion. That would be cheating. It's too simple.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, so you're trying to make it really hard on us.
Non-Disney related answers only. And like most of these games, if you don't understand it, you'll get it after the first one. We'll start with Megan. After you answer the 3 questions, we'll turn it over to Danielle to see if she can guess correctly based on your answers.
Okay.
And if you're not able to come up with the correct answer, I'll give you all 3 of the actual correct answers, and we'll see if that helps. And either way, at the end, I'll give you the correct answers for each round.
Okay.
All right, so this is for Megan. This actor was in the original cast of what production?
Book of Mormon.
Okay. Now remember, these may be right, these may also not be right as well. Next question. During the pandemic, this actor started a YouTube series in which they did what?
Oh, man. Recreate it. Oh, no, I can't say that. Just sang songs with other celebrities.
And the final question. They almost gave up acting to go into what non-entertainment related profession? These are very hard, so I'm not expecting you to get them.
Food critic.
Food critic is an interesting answer.
It's not right at all.
I'm not going to give you the buzzer for not being right, but it's probably not.
No, yeah.
So, Danielle, what do you think, based on those 3 clues, who are we talking about?
I think we're talking about Josh Gad.
Let's go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice, Danielle. Woo.
I'm shocked I knew that. Honestly, I do not
Did
know
Book of
my
Mormon help?
actors.
Because I know that. I knew that
was
answer.
only clue to be able to figure this out. I'm like, okay, there's only so many people that I know that were in Book of Mormon and whatnot, the musicals. So yes, very good one.
Yay!
Very
Yay.
good.
Okay, great.
During the pandemic, he started a YouTube series where he reunited the casts of popular movies like Back to the Future, Ferris Bueller, Lord of the Rings, and some other ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say he recreated like the movies, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
and
and
he
the,
almost went into law
remember.
as well.
The Olaf shorts that are on Disney Plus, those were recreated. He recorded those in his house during the pandemic. So like, that's what I thought of originally.
Those Olaf shorts came in the precisely right time for my little kid he was obsessed with all of them. I watched them 1,000 times in a row.
Yes.
Those
Put on
made me
Olaf
laugh.
again. Put on Olaf
So
again.
good. Mm-hmm.
Thank God for Disney's autoplay, so I didn't have to necessarily be as involved in that part of the
For the few brief
All right.
minutes that they last.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so now I'm going to ask Danielle some questions. This is still the actors category.
Okay.
What is this actor's birth name?
Oh gosh. Ed.
Okay. This actor was famously part of what hugely successful supergroup? These are really hard questions.
Yeah, you're not the one that doesn't know actors at all. Gosh. The Dad Gums.
Well, I see what you're doing.
Like, yeah, you see what I'm
Where
doing?
is this actor originally from? Careful.
Texas.
All right, so based on those 3 clues, Megan, what do you think? Who do you think we're talking about?
The first person that came to mind was Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yes. That's where I was like, okay, none of those answers are correct. I have no genuine idea anything about this man, okay? I just know "dadgum" is the one catchphrase, and
yes.
I love his accent, I love his character and as like a comedian and whatnot. I don't know anything else about this person whatsoever, so I don't even know his real name. So Chris, tell me, please.
His real name is Daniel Whitney. He was part of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and he's originally from Pawnee City, Nebraska.
Nebraska. Yes. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry if you're big fans of Larry the Cable Guy. I'm sorry, but I just know him for his character portrayals, not him as an actual actor.
Here's your second clue that helped me out. So great job there.
Good.
The dadgums.
That's exactly how the game is played for sure. So let's
Well
move on
done.
to our next category. This is going to be movies. I'm going to ask Megan.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Okay.
Who was the main human character Mary Gibbs voiced by?
Oh wow. Oh, I don't know. Ashley Eckstein, is that her name? The voice is Ahsoka.
Could be. Next question.
That's not right.
This movie was conceived during a lunch break in what year?
1990.
And finally, what comedian was eager to take on one of the lead roles due to his regret in turning down the role of Buzz Lightyear?
A comedian. Got a deep voice. Who's super
Not
popular
necessarily a
back then?
deep voice.
No, it's not true. Not necessarily. R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Okay, so based on that, Danielle, who do you think what movie do you think we're talking about?
I don't know because
This is really hard.
I'm trying to think of like what movie even came out shortly after 1999, right? Is that what we said?
I mean, that's when
She
the
said
idea.
that
That's
it
when
was
the
conceived.
idea formed
Yeah.
over
Right.
a lunch break. So it could have come out like later.
Or earlier.
What do you mean earlier? It can't come out earlier.
It could have been earlier than the answer that she gave. Maybe by 5 years.
Also true, because I get my years mixed up sometimes.
Okay, then maybe Aladdin.
That would be no. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the right answers. And I think after the third one, you're gonna get it. So
I got them all wrong.
actually, maybe the first one. Who knows? So the main human character, was voiced by one of the story artist's daughters. They didn't give an actual name, but I'm sure the information's out there somewhere. It was conceived in 1994, and the actor that turned down Buzz Lightyear was Billy Crystal. What movie are we talking about?
Oh, I wasn't thinking on that answer.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a weird role.
Whoopsies. You got this, Danielle.
No, because I don't
Billy
remember
Crystal.
what Billy Crystal was in.
What comedian was eager?
Oh no!
Again, when I say I'm bad at actors, I can tell you about the character, I can tell you about everything else, but I cannot. I know the name, I just cannot put a face or a voice with the name at all right now.
What if you had a very striking face with a glaring characteristic?
That didn't help me at all, my guy.
Well, I literally can hear people screaming at home listening to this.
Oh, I know they are. I know it. I can feel it. I'm on this side of the microphone and I can feel them. And even, oh gosh, are you serious? Stop. Why am I having such a moment then? I can't remember. Sure. Monsters Inc. Really?
Yeah. Billy Crystal was the Mike Wazowski.
I definitely got I misheard the last question to everybody listening, so I'm sorry. I didn't know that was the actual comedian. I did know Billy Crystal voiced Mike Wazowski, so sorry, everybody. I misheard the last question.
Goodness.
It's okay. I mean, my voice is also wrecked right now, so we'll blame it on that.
No, I was like not thinking clearly.
What are you talking about? They're not yelling at you. They're yelling at me because I couldn't get Mike Wazowski and Monsters Inc. Come on.
That is true. They are yelling at you.
You just needed a little tune to get you back on track.
You know, again,
that's what we're here for.
Give me a random picture clip of a blur of a spot of color in the background, and I can tell you the movie. I just can't tell you who voiced the characters.
Yep, I gotcha.
So let's move on. It's time to ask Danielle some questions about her movie. This movie is based on a book by what author?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of an author of a book. Pass. I don't know.
That's fine.
I can't think of one.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one. This next question: where does the movie predominantly take place?
On a deserted island.
Very good. And to make this movie as realistic as possible, what was shipped to the set from all over the world?
Live animals.
Okay, so based on that, what do you think, Megan? What movie are we talking about?
Live animals on a deserted island. Oh God. Do
you hear that? Do you hear that, Danielle? That's the sound of everyone screaming at her now.
I don't know. I don't think people would necessarily associate that, because I think a lot of people have in their minds an animated movie. No, this is a live action Disney movie.
Well, let me give you the correct answers.
Okay.
This movie was based on a book by Johann David Wyss. The movie predominantly takes place in the East Indies, which is modern-day Indonesia. And to make this movie as realistic as possible, they shipped in 500 animals, including 8 dogs, 2 giant tortoises, 40 monkeys, 2 elephants, 6 ostriches, 4 zebras, 100 flamingos, 6 hyenas, 2 anacondas, and a partridge in a pear tree. Not the last one. I made that one up.
Okay.
They ride the ostriches in this movie.
They ride ostriches?
They sure do.
Who does?
They does?
They does? Oh, man.
I think it's
This
time.
is a hard one.
Danielle, do you want to tell her what it is?
Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh, God. Okay.
See, and I couldn't say
yeah,
your treehouse is about to be rethemed back to them. I couldn't go back and say that. But
I know. The only word I needed was treehouse, and I would have gotten it. But I haven't seen that. And I did not know that took place in the East
Indies in Indonesia.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay. Maybe a one word clue, password.
Yeah, we can try that. All right, so our next
Try next
category
round? Okay.
is going to be foods. It's time to ask Megan some questions.
we better get this one, Megan.
I really hope so.
You better get this one for sure. That is it. All
Yeah.
right, so here we go. What type of pastry is this treat made from?
Pastry. Donut?
Pastry? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. That's okay.
Okay.
Maybe donut will help.
No, it won't. Danielle, ignore me.
Oh no.
In what continent did these treats originate?
Continent?
Continent, yes.
North America? Incorrect.
And then the final question. They are named after their visual similarities to the horns of what animals? So maybe you won't get these answers, honestly.
Horns of a what?
These treats, we'll call them, look very similar to the horns of what animal? And this is the time to maybe think about some clever type of clue that you could give her that would
That's shaped like something.
lead her to it.
Unicorn.
Oh, it's not horrible. What do you think, Danielle? What food are we talking about?
Well, that didn't help me none. I'll tell you that. Maybe a churro.
Let's go!
You did it.
It was unicorn, wasn't it?
Well, no, actually, it's donut. I was trying to like.
Oh, okay,
because
yeah, okay.
There for the longest time, I was like, okay, it's kind of like it fries similar to a donut, and when it's actually like in a deep fryer. So that's what I thought of originally. So the one that you thought didn't help you is the one that helped me the most.
So interesting. Good. Well, I'm glad.
Good.
Yay. Okay, good.
Because as soon as you said cone or like horn, I thought waffle cone, and I'm like, no, that is not a good Disney snack. So that cannot be it.
It's a incomplete Disney snack.
So the type of pastry that they are made from is called a choux pastry. It's where the egg is added later on in the mixing process. That's what makes the fluffy texture, like a French cruller or something as well. But that's where that comes from.
Okay.
The continent in which these treats originated is Europe. They came from Spain and Portugal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so. And the animal that they're named after is called the churro sheep.
Sheep. Okay.
Churro sheep. Yeah. So.
Oh, because some churros are actually like circular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Not the Disneyland versions, just the traditional.
So here we go. This is the last one of this round and this game. These are for Danielle to answer. This snack was first served in Disney World in what year?
Oh gosh, I literally just did something about this. 1980.
And what day is acknowledged as the national day to celebrate this treat?
Oh gosh. July 20th.
Okay. And what flavors does this treat come in? You can list as many as you'd like, or as few as you'd like.
It contains pineapple, vanilla, sometimes a strawberry. Those are the core ones, and then they get creative other ones also.
That's true. So what do you think, Megan? What are we talking about?
Dole Whip.
That's it.
Yay!
I just did a whole history thing about the original, how Dole Whip originated not too long ago. I think I did that back in the beginning of summer. So remind me again, when was it? Go through the answers for me, Chris.
Dole Whips were first served in Disney World in 1984.
Oh, I was
so
close.
close.
Yeah, the day their national holiday, I guess, is the third Thursday in July. So the 20th could have been correct, depending on what calendar situation you got. And flavors, pineapple, cherry, mango, lemon, watermelon, orange, raspberry, strawberries and stuff. There's all kinds of flavors.
Quite a few.
Dole Whips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I did better on my
That
answers
was
than I
nice.
anticipated. Yes.
Yay!
Look at Chris coming in with the hard games and questioning me about Larry the Cable Guy, and I'm making up fake news about this
Did you think that you'd be talking
person.
about Larry the Cable Guy in this detail on a Disney podcast? Or
I mean, I did reference Larry the Cable Guy as one of my favorite spiels for Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. I just didn't realize I would have to be talking about him not in his character personas, if that makes sense.
Right.
Daniel Whitney. Now we all know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for having me. That was the game.
Thank you, Chris.
Yay,
That
thank
was
you,
fun.
Chris.
I like that one.
All right. Speaking of ending our game on the topic of snacks,
I know.
I
great one to end
feel
on.
like we need to give a warning. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the portion of our podcast where if you are currently hungry or you are getting hangry, I do suggest you pause right now and get yourself a snack, because we are going to be talking a lot about Disney World, Disneyland, snacky foods. So if we're going to start talking about these, you're going to be your mouth might be wandering by the time we're done talking about our top 5. So this is your warning now. If you need to go ahead and pause, do so now and get yourself a snack so you're not hungry as we're talking about these things.
Yep. I'm already salivating just looking at my list. So this bodes well for the 10 through 5 top Disney snacks.
And now,
Of all
okay,
time,
I
no,
think
of
we need to
Megan and
also explain to the peoples, right, of what
Yes.
what are we counting as a Disney snack, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is
Well-
everybody's opinion is different.
Everyone's opinion is different. There are obviously a large amount of snacks to choose from, and we have multiple parks to choose from too. So I think we are allowed to include both parks here. That's my feel. That I would never want to exclude Walt Disney World. I know, and yes, Disneyland tends to have the better food. Just gonna say that right now.
It's true.
But World has amazing food as well, and I have one included in my list here. So so it's got we've included it as something that's not from a sit down restaurant. Is that correct? It's you can take it to go, you can eat and walk with it, but it's not something that you would order at a sit down restaurant.
Right. And it can either be a sweet treat, it can be something more savory, it can fall into different categories of that. But yes, it kind of has to be grab and go food, or something that you can easily split with multiple people. Or what else did we say about the snacks? Oh, my list in particular, none of my items are seasonal. They stick around all year round. Because I don't want people like I do have some seasonal snacks that are my favorite. For example, during Christmas time here at Walt Disney World, they have at the gingerbread house that they sell in the Grand Floridian Resort, they have the peppermint bark that's made by the cast members there, and it's one of my favorites. However, I'm not going to include that because that is only available a couple weeks out of the year, and where this list, I wanted to make sure that, hey, these are something that you guys can go and enjoy all year round, that you can start planning your trip for, and hopefully, it'd be our luck we talk about these and then the menu changes or something like that, but these are things that stick around all year round, so that way everybody can enjoy. Yes.
Yes. Yep. Agreed. This is exactly. It's no seasonal. This is something that you will find at the parks. 9 times out of 10, you are there. So
now some of these items have variations that will have seasonal versions, but we'll get into those once we get over there. So Megan, do you want to start us off with your top 10?
Absolutely, I can. I cannot tell you how hard this was to order in 1 through 10. I put all my favorite snacks down, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for putting things higher than I thought they would be, but that's just the truth. It's just the truth. It's what I gotta do. Sorry. So let's start with number 10. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by this because I do talk about it quite a bit in my Tiki-Takis. It's the jalapeno cheese pretzel you can find it at Refreshment Corner in Disneyland or Bayside Brews in California Adventure. And it does have variations to it for some of the holidays, like for Halloween right now. It's got hot Cheetos all over it, and it's like this big red pretzel. For me, right now I can't really have it because I'm doing a fitness thing and it's annoying because I really want it. But for me, it was something that I could go to the parks and eat like a lot. I did it a lot. Like in the years after COVID, I would have it, I think, once every trip because it was just a lovely comfort food for me. It had a tiny bit of jalapeno kick, but not so spicy that I couldn't eat it. And whenever I'd get it from, I think it was Refreshment Corner, they always made them really well. So I still love it. I will be having one when all this is said and done and I'm done with my old diet routine. But yeah, there it is at number 10 for me.
Yes. We have a version of it here at Walt Disney World, but it's only available in like 1 or 2 spots. And I think one of them is over near, in Hollywood Studios near Rock and Roller Coaster. That's one of the only carts you can get it from. And it's not, I don't even know if it's the same, but it does have a little bit of spice to it, but it's not overwhelming.
It's the pepper jack pretzel.
Yes, that's the one that we have, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll take what we can get. It's a version of it, but I mean, the Disneyland version is much better, I will be honest.
Yeah. And I have yet to try that one, by the way. Yeah. What is...
You're not missing anything.
What's your number 10, Danielle?
My number 10, I cannot pronounce because it is over in the France Pavilion of Epcot, right? And they have... there's 2 different sections when you go. So like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is off to the right of the pavilion. You have to go into the back. It is not the creperie. I do not like crepes personally. I'm not a big crepe girl. I mean, some people are definitely crepe girlies. I am not. But if you go over to the left side, they have the bakery, which I do love most of the things. I did write down a couple things on my list for over there. However, I will say it is not my it would be in like the upper part of the list. That would probably go to the Patreon episode if we do a Patreon episode on this topic. But mine is actually the ice cream shop there before it. And oh my gosh, I cannot pronounce it for the life of me, but croquet glacé maybe. But is basically
Okay.
maybe I was close, but it is, if they take a brioche bun, right? They cut it open. They put it on this little like waffle warmer thing, and then you get to choose an ice cream flavor and a syrup. Right? So then they take the ice cream, and now there's some combos that are awful. Some people swear by some of these combos. No, you are all wrong. The perfect combo that I say anyway, unless you're allergic to coconut, this is not going to be good for you. But it is the coconut white chocolate. You do a scoop of the coconut white chocolate, and then they have a raspberry drizzle that they put over top of it. And then they close the brioche bun and they heat it up. So the outside of the brioche is warm and the inside is cold. And so when you bite into it, it is this carby, sweet little perfectness that you have to be able to eat also in one setting, and like, because it will get messy. But, oh, perfect combo. The coconut white chocolate and the raspberry sauce is the one to go to. So that made my number 10.
That sounds absolutely delicious, and I must say I have yet to have one in Epcot.
Because the line's always so long.
I know. Yeah, it was long last time we were there. I always gravitate towards the festival foods, which I'm usually there for a festival, and I forget that there's, the food in the pavilions that you can have no matter what, any time of year. So that's what happens. And I tend to be drinking around the world a little bit. So I forget to eat sometimes. It's just bad. Do not forget to do that when you're partaking in the drinky drinks. So yeah, I will try it the next time I'm there. That is on my list for sure.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about number
Absolutely.
9?
Number nine is from Walt Disney World for me. It's from my favorite food park, Animal Kingdom, and it is the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese from Flame Tree Barbecue. This is a must every time I'm there. It's just the most indulgent little tray that you could get from this place. Mobile order is available, and it's really good mac and cheese, really good pulled pork just plopped right on top, barbecue sauce, a little bit of coleslaw, and it is just so good. I literally downed it within 15 minutes last time because I was so excited. Yeah, so that's my favorite little snack to take with you it's actually like kind of right when you go inside, right into the park. It's on your right from the Tree of Life, and so yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That is a great option, and actually it again, another one that's close up but higher up on the list for me. But I got so excited because you said Animal Kingdom, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my number 9 is also from Animal Kingdom. However, it is not from Flame Tree Barbecue, and I was like, oh man, mine's actually from Satuli Canteen over in Pandora.
Ooh, okay.
Now, this is a quick service location, and I do love their teriyaki bowls, but I do consider that more of a meal option. So for me though, they have these things over there called cheeseburger pods.
I love those. I've had those.
They are these little like bun things that have like cheeseburger flavoring on the inside, and they do have it on the kids menu, which you can order the kids menu version. It comes like one, and I think there's an option where you can order 2 also, and that. It's so good. Like sometimes you're really craving it, and that's what you go toward. That's the one thing I usually crave whenever I'm there. And you just do a quick mobile order pickup. You just have it real quick, and that I consider that a snack, even though it could be a meal for some people. So yes, that is my number 9. I love how number 9's holding it strong over there at Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Satuli Canteen. So Flame Tree, Satuli Canteen are actually like 2 of my favorite quick service spots. I love Satuli. Yes. For the variety of their dishes, and the hamburger pods, I have had those, were very good. So I love that that's your number 9.
It's like one of the, in a weird way, it feels like one of the healthier food options in a Disney park.
Yeah, and they have bowls. Yeah.
It's a perfect little bowl servings, and when you eat it, you don't feel like it's weighing you down for the day.
Right.
We suggest that as a great food option for if you are going to Walt Disney World and you're going to Animal Kingdom. Check out Satuli Canteen's menu, because it is a good middle of the day food lunch option that's not going to weigh you down, but it's going to be very filling.
100%. Yep.
Yes.
Agreed. Love
Both
Animal
of our
Kingdom
seal
food.
of approval.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's go to number 8. So I put number 8, and I feel like I had to put these on here because they're just amazing and a staple of DCA. It's the quesadilla tacos from Cocina Cucamonga in California Adventure. They're so good. The consomme that they come with that you dip the tacos in is like, it's just delicious. They are very indulgent. They're a little bit greasy. Just that's the way that they're cooked. And yeah, what can I say? They're just the perfect little, like, 2 tacos that you get. Perfect little snack. You can carry it with you or sit down. But yeah, they're that good. And there's a reason people talk about them all the time. And there's also a reason they've stuck around, like, permanently on the menu.
Because people are like, if you touch my tacos, I will come for you.
That's right.
See, that's one thing I didn't get to try because I was so focused on trying like the bread bowls and stuff over there in that area that I didn't even focus on the tacos or whatnot. So I will. That is on my list for next time I am in Disneyland. So hopefully that is something I can try.
Yes, yeah, highly recommend. You can mobile order them. They're always there, and there's a great go-to snack. So
Good.
love those things. But what about you, Danielle? Let's hear your number 8.
Well, number 8 for me, okay, so I put down vaguely just the spring roll cart, right? Because there are multiple items at the spring roll cart here at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom that it does change seasonally. So for the longest time, they do have a cheeseburger egg roll. Right, and being the cheeseburgers, man, I didn't realize cheeseburger pops up so much on my pods and spring rolls. Cheeseburger, but in a different form is what my 8 and 9 are. But so they also have a couple of other seasonal ones too that change out. They had one for the 50th anniversary that is gone. They have a new one, I think. I haven't actually tried the new one yet. It just literally showed up maybe a month or so ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I need to go try that one. But they've had other versions too of, like, they've had a pizza spring roll, and they've also had like a barbecue. Oh, what is it? A barbecue chicken, maybe something like that. But but the cheeseburger one's the one that sticks around all the time. So if you're gonna go try one, try that. It is a little greasy. It comes with 2 of them. You can have one, and you can have a bite with somebody else, or you can just hog them for yourself, whatever you want to do. And sometimes it's that snack that hits it when you need it the most. And now I think some people are confused of where this cart is located. It is when you're heading towards the castle, you turn left towards Adventureland. It is right there to the right of the Adventureland sign. And that is the cart with the spring rolls. And they do close at a certain time, so do pay attention. They're not open until the late wee hours of the park being open. But a great little snacky snack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And another one that I have yet to try, and I've tried my hardest to be there and go to the car, wait in the line, but for some reason the timing has never worked out where I could either stand in the line for that long or they closed early, right?
Right.
So, but it's definitely on my list to try. One of my goals, because I've heard so many great things about them. So next time I'm there, it is
Some
happening.
people really love them, and some people don't like them. Some people think they are overhyped. They are one of those weird foods. So, So if you're listening, you want to go try that. Just bear this in mind.
I have heard that as well. I'm definitely trying them next time, though.
Okay.
Like, not even a question. I will wait, whatever it takes. All right, so number 7 for me, and I feel like is just another classic snack from the Disneyland Resort and also Disney World. It's Dole Whip. It's there. You really can't go wrong with a Dole Whip, no matter what form it comes in. The float, just the soft serve, the different flavored soft serves. I really like this lovely parfait that they do at Disneyland at Tropical Hideaway, where they put chamoy and tahini all over it and a little bit of fruit pieces, as well as a dried, I believe it's a dried mango they put in it. It's just, it's so good.
That is a Disneyland thing. We do have
That is a land
we do
thing.
have Dole Whip over here in Disney World also, which is we have very similar menus and whatnot. But the whole like tahine thing, that is strictly a California thing. I don't know. We just
It
don't
is.
do that here in Disney World.
It is. Yes, yes, indeed. It's definitely become part of the snack culture over here for sure.
Yes.
As well as the chamoy. That's just the sauce kind of version of it. And it just pairs well. It pairs so well with pineapple and mango. I think they do have a mango flavored Dole Whip in there too. But honestly, just a regular Dole Whip is great and like wonderful on any day. So
Classic staple. No matter what
Classic
coast
staple.
you're on.
yep, very true. Had to be top 10 for sure.
Yes, I see. I'm so bad. I did not include it in my top 10. That's another one that's
okay.
also on the top of the list. But I'm glad you mentioned it, so I can be like, no, they're good on both coasts, but there are different variations for each coast.
Yes, yeah, indeed. Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay,
for
so what's your number 7 then?
my number 7 is over on your coast also, and you know, I looking at my list, right? I realize there are some things I just really enjoy, and there are a lot of bread and a lot of cheese, man. I love me some bread and some cheese. And when those two loves can come together, that is my favorite. So number 7 for me is from Cozy Cone, and it is the Cozy Cone bacon macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
And it cut like y'all. This is oh my gosh, it's almost like a Pillsbury dough, right?
Yeah, like
And-
the croissant thing or the
Yeah.
little
Yes.
the crescent rolls. Yes.
Yes, it's like a crescent roll, and it's wrapped up into a shape of a cone. So that is your bowl when you eat your macaroni and cheese. And so this is a great snack option. You can take it on the go, but honestly, I am inhaling it too fast. I need to sit down so I don't drop anything by accident. And I still think about this macaroni and cheese every once in a while, and it is glorious.
It's so good.
I just really like macaroni and cheese. Is what it is. So,
It's very
yes.
good. Yeah.
And this is
That
over in
is-
Cars Land, y'all.
Yes, and that is a staple of Cars Land and really of DCA. It is a fan favorite for sure. Right now, during the holidays or during Halloween, it's being served as a spicy cone, so it's got hot Cheeto dust over the top.
Ooh.
And it's pretty good if you like a little bit of kick. But yeah, the bacon mac and cheese cone is definitely a fan favorite. And also just Cozy Cone in general. I mean, they also have a chili con queso, which I really enjoy. And then for the holidays, they have the best thing in the entire park, which is the chicken pesto cone. And I vouched many times for that to stay year round, but it hasn't. And that's okay.
Interesting. I haven't tried that one yet. I'll have to add that to the list too.
Oh, yes. If you're coming for the holidays, Danielle, we will introduce you to the pesto cone because
Many a
she's the
holiday
best.
snacky snack.
Oh, yes. Many a holiday snack.
Well, what about I guess before we jump into our number 6 options, y'all, we are going to leave y'all on a cliffhanger, and because I know we've gotten you really hungry right now, we can't divulge all of our favorite snack secrets right off the bat. So we will be saving those for the next episode of our 5 through 1. So thank you again for listening for so long, and make sure you are following us on the Disney Countdown podcast on the Instagram, on the socials, all that other good stuff, and myself, the Dapper Danielle, and the Magical Millennial _ for Miss Megan on the Instagram, TikToks, and all that other good stuff. So now that we got all that business done and out of the way, what is your number 6 option, Miss Megan?
My number 6. And oh yeah, this is I'm happy about this one because she's been a hot topic this year. It is the breakfast chimichanga in Frontierland. Woo! I had to include a breakfast option or breakfast item on my list, and it's of course was the chimichanga, the one that's sought after so heavily in the morning. I've rope dropped this, and I'm sure a couple people have rope dropped this specific food item. Just over right next to Big Thunder, there's a stand there. They serve these hot and fresh, and you gotta get the side of green salsa, okay?
Oh.
I know if you like red salsa, that's fine. It comes in the little packets, but the green salsa, it does cost, I think, a little over $1 extra. It's worth it. You get a ton of green sauce or green salsa. Just pour it over the top or dip it in, whatever you like. And it's so good. Like, so you got the egg, you got your sausage. I believe there's a little potato in there, and it is quite literally the heartiest breakfast, one of the heartiest breakfasts you can get to go. So
All of
I
our
very much
friends have
enjoy
been
that food.
talking about it. I think, Megan, you kind of introduced everybody to this.
Which is so
And-
funny because it's been around forever. And the reason I wanted to go get it in the beginning was because I had been watching so many influencers before me try it in years past. Excuse me. And I think it was Disney Hungry. Shout out to Jenny at Disney Hungry because she was literally the first influencer I ever followed. And she had talked about it so long, 2019 and prior to that. And then it popped up again after COVID, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna go get that thing. It only is served between the hours of 8 and 10:30, and it does usually sell out by 10:30 or before 10:30. So I do recommend if you want to go try it, I would get in line as early as possible.
So you're saying the late night babes like me are going to struggle trying to get over there in time to be able to go try
That
it?
is correct, Danielle. Unfortunately, there is no breakfast chimichanga served at 9 p.m. Sadly.
We need. Okay, I am demanding that if anybody in the Disney food realm is listening to our podcast, I demand a breakfast in the middle of the night option because sometimes that just hit different, right?
I know.
And if they do they could do like a late night hot and ready, right? So kind of like Krispy Kreme donuts, so they had the hot light on and whatnot for their donuts. You go through and you pick them up and pick those up. They need that for the chimichanga or the whatever it is. And do that like a late night version, but only from like 8 to 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be so good.
That would be amazing. I love breakfast for dinner or a late night snack.
Or snack.
Yeah.
Just potatoes and sausage are great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good idea.
Mine is also in Disneyland, but it's actually over in the California Adventure side because, again, I just really like carbs is really what it boils down to. And my number 6 is the Mickey sourdough bread. That perfect little doughboy that he is. And yes, I'm saying that the giant loaf that's as big as my head is a snack. Because I will literally just tear off an ear and I'll just go and just bite into it, and then we save it. What we did last time, which I think was very, very smart, is we brought a thing of cheese with us and some like pre-made like microwavable breakfast sausage or bacon into the hotel room. And the first day we went to California Adventure, we picked up the Mickey sourdough giant loaf and we brought it back to the hotel room after we did share an ear. We did split the ear. But then we cut up the rest of him and he was our breakfast sandwiches for the next 2 days. And just, it was so good. It was so good. So I highly suggest that to y'all. If you ever are coming to Disney World and you want to figure out how to become one of Danielle's best friends, just bring with you a Mickey sourdough roll. And yes, I am very easily swayed by food. So
Super smart. Super smart. You got a little food hack there. Boudin definitely makes the best sourdough, and I'm so glad that they're still there making all their bread over in San Francisco. But that is a really good food hack. I love that. You can just make a little
it's
sandwich.
not Mickey shaped, but did you know that Boudin from California also does a monthly bread subscription?
Someone told me that, and I think that's amazing.
And it's seasonal too. So like, I think during the month of November, they actually make a sourdough bread roll that's shaped like a turkey. And it can be delivered to your home. And okay, I'm actually... Dapper Mom and Dad, I know you're listening to the podcast right now. That is on my Christmas list.
Order
for
me the turkey.
Next year. I want the bread subscription from Boudin. So I don't ask for much. You just put the subscription note in my stocking, and I will be so happy.
That is incredible. Wow. I'm going to look into that because that would be nice to get a delivery of bread.
Yeah, or even just
Every
as
now and then.
like a Christmas gift for someone, as we're
As a
talking about
gift, yeah.
the holiday season coming up. Like, hey, give the gift of bread.
Yes.
I love that.
It's everybody's best friend. Bread.
Yes. Well, now, Megan, I'm going to have to go get a snack myself because I am hungry as we've been talking about all of these. So, again, thank you all so much for listening until the very end of the episode. I'm sorry if we made you hungry. Again, I already pre-warned you earlier before we started our countdown that you should have gotten yourself a snack before you listened. But thanks, y'all, again, for listening in. This has been great.
And be sure to tune in next week on our next episode, guys. We will be counting down our top 5 Disney snacks, and we will also have a very special guest joining us. You may know him from one of my favorite Disney Channel shows, Good Luck Charlie. It's Bradley Stephen Perry. He will be on the show with us, counting down his top snacks, and I hear he's a little bit of a foodie himself, and also just a wonderful man. So we are very excited to have him on and chatting some Disney food with him.
Oh, for sure. I wonder if he actually has any like secret recipes, because if he is the foodie guy and he's doing this whole cooking thing, I wonder if he has any secret recipes of how to recreate any of these Disney snacks. So I'll be interested to hear his opinion on some of these items. And if for those that don't know or are not familiar, again, this is a Disney Channel show. He an icon on the Disney Channel era of like I would say like 2010 to like maybe 15? The 18s.
I was gonna say like 16ish. Yeah.
That specific era of Disney Channel, which is so funny that like we have these eras in mind of each of these little of Disney Channel and whatnot. But he was very iconic in that Disney Channel area, and he played Gabe on Good Luck Charlie. So if you know him, stick around, and we will see y'all for the next episode, and we'll be diving into that.
Till then, have a very magical day.
And night night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight. I wonder if I can get some sourdough bread like from the grocery store down here. That sounds really good.
Probably.
Right now.
I think I have some in the cupboard.
I need to make a sandwich. Oh yes. Let's go get sandwiches.
I'm down.